So, Alicia, welcome. Welcome to the show. Excited to go over how to attract dream clients onto your Facebook profile, using your Facebook profile on autopilot. So you can enroll them into your programs, your services, your retreats, and your coaching offers and all the wonderful things. But before we do, you want to say some nice things about yourself and what you do for people and all that good stuff.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you for jumping in and doing this with me today. I'm super grateful for everything that you offer. And um, I, so I have a business called Sacred Stays and ESP Wellbeing. And I'm currently in the process of wanting to rebrand, just using my personal name and still having those other vessels that help people transform their lives and become better people and heal from disease and pain and reclaim relationships and experience miracles really and in the real time tangible miracles. That's what I've been creating. That's the work that I do. And so I've been in this personal evolution, that put a lot of energy and time into these business entities, these names of businesses. I've got groups on Facebook: Intimate Human Connection,
Mhm.
Sacred Connections. Um, I've been coaching people one-on-one for many years and been a yoga teacher for over 19 years. So I've been teaching consciousness and in the health and wellness industry for 19 years. And just this, kind of being in this very new space of virtual reality. um, I've been quite, I'm like a toddler. Like, I'm learning to walk again and learning to show up in brand new ways. My work is still equally as powerful. I'm grateful for that. I get the
Mhm.
same results with people working in these spaces, just like this, rooms like this, YouTube. It's really amazed me what is available through technology and this virtual reality. Um, but it's very foreign to me, and I'm just learning how to walk.
Thank you for showing up, and your work is so powerful. Like what I've just heard, and I've seen, people who gone through your programs, and they all show up with extreme levels of authenticity and intimacy in their relationships with themselves, owning their own power, showing up confidently, and really, having healthy relationships. And beyond that, really finding their own path and their passion again. So just want to acknowledge that you are a badass. You're not a toddler by any means when it comes to doing the work, you know and so really excited to share this wisdom with you on the side that feels like the hard part for you, um, because geez, more people need to learn about the amazing work that you do. um, so let's dive right in. So I heard a couple of things, and I'm sure that a lot of people can relate to, like, should I have my business brand on my business page? Now, how can I or should I use my Facebook profile to attract clients? And so my answer is so yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Like, you should have started like 12 years ago. You know what I mean? um, but I'm biased that way. It's really cool. Best time to plant a tree is always, 10 years ago, but the second best time is right now. So there's no need to, beat ourselves up about it, especially right now during COVID, all of the stuff that's happening in the world. There's more attention on social media than ever before. A lot of people will say that that's a bad thing. And, honestly, a lot of my great friends, I've met them through Facebook groups, like people that I'm friends with now, and then we go meet up in person or at live events after, and so it's been an amazing tool for me personally for connecting, and getting clear on what the hell I'm doing. Because the truth is, when I put my first bit of content out, it wasn't like the big holy grail of content and had everybody streaming to me, like buying all of my services. That's not what happened. But in order to find, and we just talked about this a little bit before the call, in order for me to find my sort of perfect message, I needed to just put out there something, anything that I had worth saying, in order to get feedback from people and iterate on it. And so over time, I can share a quick story. I actually saw a live video just like this one, from my buddy Marshall at the time, and I hadn't known him personally, just somebody on the internet just talking stuff. And he was saying, like, every single day, like, do you spend an hour on Facebook or more? Like, just check in with yourself, right? Are you spending an hour on Facebook or more? Well, if you do, if you're spending more than an hour per day on Facebook, you can create a six-figure income by spending 1 hour on Facebook per day, you know? If right now you do a live video like this one on Facebook, for example, and on a bad day, you will still get 100 people plus to view that video, you know? And of course, there's some things to optimize that to get that way higher, make that be the right 100 people as well. And we'll talk about that. But just acknowledge that like the access to your people is in the palm of your hands, literally every single day. And imagine just how much more difficult it would be for you right now to go into a room where 100 people are and just like, hey, everyone, here's my business. Here's what I do. Here's how I help people. Like, you don't have that opportunity all the time when you're out there, right? And actually having 100 people listening to you. So the value, and it's not 100 likes. It's not about 100 views. It's 100 people potentially going through the dark night of the soul, right? The hardest time of their lives right now, and looking for support. And we have an opportunity every single day to reach them. And so now what makes the difference between having just being another person out there doing a spammy post that nobody wants to talk to, and like the type of person who has the right message for the right person and it resonates, So that's what we're going to do. Using your Facebook profile, there's a couple of like just technical things, but big picture, well, first thing I want you to understand, there's a gold mine in terms of being able to serve and genuinely, authentically connect with people on your Facebook profile even today. And then the next level up is, or the next step is having a Facebook group. And I will also show you how you connect it to, where people are coming onto your profile, learning about what you do, joining your group, where you have an opportunity to message them and offer them and give them value, free trainings, etc., over and over again, until eventually they're like, you know what, I want your stuff. I like your stuff. So, so we'll walk you through what it looks like. It's actually not complicated, Does that sound good? Is that something you want? Okay, great. So I'm sharing my screen. Beep, boop. Just gonna, again, this is not like the best profile in the world. It's just my profile. I've created a 6-figure business with this. And the first thing you want to do is you want to have a super clear bio. The bio description needs to talk to a specific result. Maybe we'll go through some examples of sort of other people so we can see some contrast. And maybe we'll just use yours. Is it cool if we just use your profile for comparison?
Yes, yeah, go for it.
Okay, great. Alicia, how do we find you online?
Alicia Ann Howery. Yep.
Oh,
right there.
you're popping right up. Love it. Google knows what I'm looking for. Epic. So if you want to be friends with Alicia, this is how you find her. Add her. She's a great person to be friends with. Awesome. See, this is cool. This is a cool message. Beckoning the sacred within you to come forward one human at a time. It's like inspiring. It's like an inspirational quote. I like it. And this photo is great. This photo is also great. It just shows like you laughing, high vibes, family. It's awesome. Now, if I'm a potential, like if I'm a person who is struggling with relationships and I'm having a problem or I'm having a goal, like I want to have a healthy, sustainable relationship, I might be thinking about getting my soulmate and like maybe I want to overcome this, like why do I keep attracting the same person? What are some other problems that people might have that you're like designed to help them with?
Yeah, those are two big ones for sure. Repeat patterns, compulsion, addictions, falling into any of the categories of fear and grief and loss. There's no kind of story too big or circumstance that I have not met or stayed with. Like I like to say, like I'm going to stay with you all the way through. The unforgivable, the unlovable, and prove you wrong, because you're here to be really, really loved and valued. I consider myself a value coach, that I'm going to help you find your value, and then to be able to give and express the value that you want to share out into the world.
I love that so much. Now compare the two statements, right?
Yeah.
You want to find your value, love, and claim your power, your value, find love with confidence in 60 days or less.
I love it. And this message is because I told you, like, I'm hearing the message, the call to rebrand. This is more specific to that one business entity that I have that's called Sacred Stays. And I've spent and put so much energy, into that creation. In fact, up until about 10 days ago, that's all I talked about. And my fiance is so grateful that I had this upgrade, this transition, because I'm not stuck there in that box, that's the thing I'm creating, that it's bigger, that I'm bigger than that. Yes, that's part of my business. That's an entity. ESP Wellbeing is another entity that, meets a different demographic. And really all of it is me. So I completely see how an upgrade right there that encompasses all of me versus just that Sacred Stays part would be more valuable.
Absolutely. And so really what your profile is, um, like honestly, what it is not even, this is might be the surprise. It is actually not about your business.
Yeah.
It is not. Your personal profile, even when you use it for business, is not about your business. Same as your business page shouldn't be about your business. Like when you have a website, a traditional website, you have an about me page, right? Where people rarely ever go to. Like 5% of your visitors will go every once in a while, like, oh, what is in here? I'm just bored, so I'm clicking there. Really, they want to have the about themselves page, right? That's the page. So the first words that you want to see here is the goal, the result that people are looking for. And so we did the $1 million messaging sequence, so you have some powerful words you can use there. That's a powerful framework to get clear on entering the conversation of your ideal client's head. So like, let's take my thing for example, and then we can come up with something for you. It's that I teach healers, mindset coaches how to add 10K per month without being salesy and sacrificing their values. It's I had a ton of resistance to this, but I knew the power in this, and I needed to have my coach help me like figure this out and draw it out of me. But I knew the power is that people, there's two types, right? There's, in terms of my ideal clients, there's, I can help everyone, right, with something. But like my ideal clients, they have the 10K goal and they just want to create that consistently and do it online in a way that they don't need to feel salesy, they don't, all of that good stuff. But here's the thing, I needed to figure out what is the one problem that my program is like uniquely designed to help with. And what the problem is, what a lot of people and coaches do is they speak about the airplane, not about the paradise. So what is the goal that they already have, or the problem that they're already suffering from? So like, hey, I could also do burnout. Like, hey, are you burnt out and you're struggling to make your 10K a month, consistently without, sacrificing your well-being? I mean, I could do so many things. I just needed to like get some out there, brainstorm some, and then pick one. And so my invitation for you at this point, for anybody watching or yourself, is just come up with like 10. I help X go from ABC to XYZ in 90 days or less, 60 days or less. That's a great first step. So it could be as simple as I help X with, and so X is your person, and let's freestyle some, right? Maybe it's, what's the first thing? How is your ideal person describe themselves? Think of one person. Do they consider themselves empowered women, or what is it what they would say?
I'm just thinking of one, like, because I just got off a session with her, and just remembering her value and in co-empowered partnerships, and initially she came to dissolve her emotional armor that she had been hiding behind, and
Powerful words. And how would like so dissolve your emotional armor so you can have co-empowered relationships
yeah,
in 90 days or less.
I love it.
That if you have that, and I scroll through and it's going to be like dissolve your emotional armor so you can have co-empowered relationships in 90 days or less. Woo! Wow. Now that's an offer. That's a promise that I'm like, how do you do that? Tell me more. Let's go. So genuinely, like, that is something that is a specific result that people can feel and see. Does that make sense? And I mean, you can chunk it down more, and the framework you want to use for it is so you can what? So you can. So the way of thinking is what's the benefit of the benefit?
Yeah.
And when you ask yourself that more, you get to a level of specificity where it's like, okay, this is what people actually want. The end result. People want the Hawaii, the paradise, the destination, not the airplane. So I think dissolve your emotional armor so you can have co-empowered, maybe it's like, what is it? Stop arguing, right? And have co-empowered relationships, or, whatever it is, stop pain, right?
Pain.
And yeah, I'm gonna say pain. You want to name it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe, I'm not sure. So, the fear that oftentimes comes out is like, well, when I use a specific thing, then like there are other people too, and am I pushing them away? Well, the truth is you don't. When you show that you get very specific results in one area, it will have people curious. Like, can you also help me with this? And they will just ask. But if you say, I help everyone feel better with their relationships, so then you're like, okay. But it's not like that specific result where people are like, that's what I want. They want to see it and say, that's me, that's what I want. So you want to have that that's me effect. Does that make sense? And a lot of the data for this is inside of your calls. So that was great. You use those so I invite you to take notes, because your sales calls and your enrollment calls and your coaching calls give you the marketing copy to tell that next potential client on your social media, that's what I want too. I want to have one of those too. So I'm thinking kind of like in a restaurant, that effect when you see somebody walk by with like a steamy plate that looks delicious and healthy, and like, I want that.
Yeah.
What is, you can just ask the waiter, I want one of those. And that's your testimonials too. So you can find language for this in your testimonials as well. Cool.
Yeah, and you said that in some of my other testimonials. Like, if you want true DNA shift, go to Alicia. She's doing the real stuff. It works fast. I mean, it's
Mhm.
you're helping
Even
me remember.
I would say even DNA shift still describes the process, the airplane, more than the paradise. Because what is the result of having the DNA shift? Maybe it's being in your relationship, not being triggered anymore, not feeling needing your partner anymore, but feeling inspired by being with them. I'm guessing.
Totally.
So
Okay, I see the difference.
so it's like if you're able to take a picture of the result in action,
Mm-hmm.
or the pain in action. So you can take a picture of, a couple arguing, somebody being lonely, or perpetually, attracting the same person. That's something you can picture.
Okay.
And I know we've done this on your $1 million message. So like, just for now, I would say, dissolve emotional armor. So you can, what was the other word? That's, go from dissolve, having emotional armor to, what was the other word that we said?
Co-empowered relationships.
To co-empowered relationships in 90 days or less. Or what is the duration of your program? Or in an afternoon? Maybe it's in a single afternoon by having an event, right, or workshop, right?
Yeah, it's fast. I really like to be with people 4 months. I like that commitment. And for me, I know for certain their life's going to be incredibly different in 4 months. Um, the minimum I'll be with anyone is 3 sessions, but I don't even like to sell that.
Sure. So then just say in 4 months or less.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
I
I
think
mean,
codependence is one of the like, I can heal pain in an hour. I can have somebody come to me in pain and have it dissolved and over with. Codependence has
I
got
mean,
a lot of deep roots, and
maybe it's just that, you help, and we can. So I'm still looking for a name. Like I used to just speak to conscious entrepreneurs. Now it's like mindset coaches and healers and all that good stuff. But maybe it's just help X, and I haven't defined X, who X is, but help them go from codependent to co-empowered in 4 months or less. That's a powerful value. That's powerful value for anybody who's struggled with codependency. That's huge. That it's even possible.
Mhm.
And then I would hope to see like testimonials of amazing people occasionally on your profile, because I know you have them.
So
You
yeah,
know.
so a question about that, like, so just like sharing them periodically.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you want to have them, results or story posts like once a week. If you can do one, you can challenge yourself for a month, just posting one a day. That will break sort of the barrier, because I know people have a challenge with talking about themselves, but we need to get through that and walk our talk. Talk our walk. That's
Mhm.
what I'm looking for. Talk our walk. Cool. So I want to be mindful of time and run you through some real practical things, but literally that bio line is so important. And once you have this, then you want to have a banner that reflects what you do as well. And then hard-centered sales is like, if I were to do this, is my version 1.0 banner still, right? If I were to do this again, I would probably say, hey, want to learn how to attract perfect fit, high-paying clients and double your prices with confidence without feeling salesy? Join my group. You know. So I have a couple of more elements, but the key thing is you want to have a question like want to learn ABC,
Mhm.
want to learn how to become co-empowered, want to learn how my clients go from codependent to co-empowered in like 4 months or less. Join my free group and take your, and watch my case study or something like that. You know, um, and then you can direct them through a piece of value of watch my free training, right?
Mhm.
And you want to give them something that can give them a quick win, something that will immediately get them some results in their life right away. Like one of the things I have in my group. So here's how I have this practically. I have the link to my Facebook group in the description, in the caption of that picture. So people click the picture, see and they click through to become part of my group.
That's cool. Where do you make that at?
What part?
The click option.
Oh, it's as simple as, so right now, let's see. When I click here on your picture, um, this is where it would appear. So literally in the description, if you hit edit of that picture, your banner, that's it. You can just add a group. Of course, you want to have some words, and I think this is a great picture to use. Because maybe it's that like having healthy families come together. And so literally say, hey, want to learn how to go from codependent to co-empowered? Join our group. It could be as simple as this. And using this in Canva works great. And maybe what I would do with this is you have like a background color or something, just a solid color, where you can add words and then have this be in the center of it. And then you want the green part, you want to make it super obvious. And you give it the appearance that it does something when they click on it, because what it will do is will open up the comments on the side.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a little hack, right? That's what it is. But this is how you grab people's attention. Or like if you don't have a Facebook group yet, it's whatever free training you have, YouTube video. It could be anything. I recommend it to be the Facebook group for one reason, and I'm gonna show you what that reason is too. So that reason is the membership page. When you have your own group, and I'm gonna just go here. This is probably it. So when they click that link to your group, and for you it could be the co-empowerment. You know what? What if it's that? What's the co-empowerment circle or something like that? The circle of co-empowerment. So it's more specific. Like I love, I understand stays, but it requires, because you stay with them throughout their journey of what they're going through. That's powerful. And it requires an explanation. You
Mhm.
want your titles to not be clever, but be clear. Clear is better than clever. And so like, yeah, it could be something like the co-empowerment circle or something. And I know I struggled with this too. I had to have my coach just tell me, just like use this title for this group. I'm like, okay. And I obliged, because it has a specific result. People are looking for creating high ticket clients. I have high ticket client creation community. Before it was conscious entrepreneur community. But what I found that people that attracted, it was people who are looking for community. So as soon as they're in a community and their problem is solved.
Right.
But it's not a skill that you have to develop or something over time that I can teach them. So community is something people get by default from learning this skill from me. Does that make sense?
Totally. Hmm.
So that's a little minutia in messaging, how that it affects people. You want to make it about a real problem, a big problem to solve, or a skill. Now, so I was hoping I can show you my membership questions. Typically, I have my member requests here, but I use this little tool called Groups Pro. It basically captures the membership questions in my Facebook group, and this is why that's important. So, I have you get 3 questions that people fill in, and you want to ask what is your number one thing that you want to, what do you want to get out of this group? I'm asking what is your number one skill do you want to get out of this? It's like creating high ticket offers, enrolling new clients with profits. Great. So that was a multiple choice thing. So they get to choose. And obviously the options I'm providing are things that I can help with. So they're like, hey, do you want me to help you with this or with this or with this? And then I ask, what is your biggest challenge? And in the same question, I'm asking, if it's something we can help with, do I have permission to reach out to you with resources to support? So basically, when I answer this question, I already have permission to reach out to them. And it feels to me like they came to me. So like they opted into the group, they filled out the questionnaire, they said, this is my problem, and you have permission to reach out to me. So every day, I mean, this person came in, does it have a date? But I pretty much regularly get new people every day on the 21st. So I guess that was 6 days ago. All right, 6 days ago, I got two new people, and then 10 days before that, I had Carson. They kind of trickle in, and that day I had 4 people come in. I guess it's every time I actually let people in the group. I had 5 people join that group. That 6, 7, 7. So like, and this is people I never. Okay, so that Anya, I actually invited her to the group over like a voice message, but everybody else, they just joined. And so this is how you attract leads, literally reaching out to you, saying what they want, saying what their problem is. And you don't need to have this fancy Groups Pro. This is an automation that is like, this is like your second or third step. Like the first step is have your group, have it be a super clear name that talks about a problem that you're solving or a result that you can help them with,
Hmm.
whether it's and what's the word, and codependency or
Hmm.
something, or whether it's live co-empowered, live and love co-empowered or something like that. Yeah, so that start that group like today. Just like name it, put like a welcome video, 1 minute video, done is better than perfect, and have that message in your bio. Just those little things will start having people reaching out to you, asking you how to work with you. And then the algorithm, there's some things we can do about the algorithm. But I think and that's probably a whole nother training. So drop like a comment if you find this is helpful and you want more of this. We can do another training. Biggest thing is, let's see, is it timeline settings? I think it's here. You want to, who can see what are those posts on your timeline? Basically your privacy. I think here it's probably your privacy. You want to make this a public profile. That's the biggest thing.
I'm pretty sure mine is.
Okay, great. Who can see your post public? I think this is the one. Yeah, this is the main thing. So you want to make sure this is public. Who can see your friend list? That's fine. Yeah, so that is the main thing. Cool. So when you have that public, you're good to go. And then when it comes to making posts, let's see. There's a couple of more elements before we go into post. Post is also a whole nother training. But I have the content to cash formula. A lot of people do posts, daily posts, and even amazing posts and get a bunch of engagement or zero engagement, but they don't know how to have a post and then convert it into clients. That's a difference. Like it's a whole different skill set. And I have a training for that. It's totally worthwhile. We did a masterclass on it actually. I can still share the masterclass. It's not free. It's $97, but you learn how to create content, how to get people reaching out to you and buying from you basically, and to give and fall in love with buying from you. That's the other thing, because you want to over deliver. And I think you have a workshop. The first intent is just for people to fall in love with the experience of buying from you by just giving them 5 to 10 times the value of what they actually paid. And so here's the thing. Does this make sense?
Yes.
Okay, great. So there's a lot of opportunity right here in this area to have like a clear call to action, and then have the link be something where people have a reason to click on it. So here's what I mean. I don't know if I did this very well, but let's see.
Mhm.
I can definitely share some examples of some of my friends and mentors who really nailed this. So I got this, want to learn how to live your dream life and make the impact you want. This is actually not a perfect message. It's actually kind of too vague. It's not specific enough, but it tells you what to do. It gives you the click here thing. And when you do click here, it actually links to Conscious Entrepreneur Community. So what I did here is when you hit edit and you hit the add sign, and then you start typing, it will pop up the name of your group. So it doesn't look like a URL pasted. It will look like the name of the group. This has still the old name. I'm going to keep it. So you see how you could just have a little picture like this. I like that it has a number of people there, but what do you think?
How do you do that right there?
Sure. So this is called a featured picture.
Okay.
So out of all of your pictures, you
Mhm.
can, I'm pretty sure, like just go here and say, make profile picture. Nope, it's not this way. It's probably,
So you just have one featured photo?
yeah. Oh, that's right. So if you have like I don't know where it is, but you have like a group number of featured photos that you can feature, you can bump up. And so, yeah, if you just have one, it'll show up like this. It'll show up really big.
Gotcha. Okay.
Cool. Yeah, so that is that. And the other thing in terms of engagement, so the way the algorithm works, when somebody friends me, what you want to do when somebody friends you is um, engage engage on their timeline, engage with them, because Facebook will give you it shows you who you are, right? If you're being a person that engages on other people's content, it will show you people who also engage with content, and given that they're just friending you, chances are they're going to be engaging with you. The other reason that you can get more engagement on your posts is by adding people in Facebook groups where your ideal people are hanging out, who have already engaged on your post. So like you want to have a target Facebook group. My first run of creating one high ticket client a week every week was like in January of 2019. I found this one group was perfect. It's full of consultants who were having like a spiritual sort of awakening, but the people in the group didn't support them with like the personal one-on-one support. It was just like a group program with courses and no like one-on-one touch points and nothing personalized. And so when I showed up in there and I just shared with people how I share with people one-on-one about NLP and breakthroughs in the language of the subconscious mind, people were so fascinated by it. And I shared wins. I just show them, hey, I went through all these challenges and here's my breakthrough. This is, a specific result I just got, right? Or a testimonial I just got. And I would always share both parts. And that's how I was standing out. Whereas everyone else was just like, look how amazing I am. I got everything figured out. I was just like, no, here's how the here's the shit, and I gotta win. And so because of that, I had people friending me or like liking my stuff. Those were the same people that when I invite them to friend me, or I friended them, that they would continue to engage with my content. With their behavior, they've already demonstrated that they would. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
whereas if you add random people to your profile, it's a gamble if they're going to be engaging or not. But if
Mm-hmm.
you should, add people who've already proven to you that they do, then they're going to likely continue to do that, and you want to reward them by doing that on their pages as well. Does that make sense?
So I go, how do I engage with them on their page? Um,
Sure.
in,
So I don't know Cody. Like,
okay.
okay, great. It's a perfect example, right? I literally just did this. I'm gonna take you behind the scenes. So here's a group I'm part of. It's called the Billion Dollar Brotherhood. It's a buddy of mine, Nicholas Bailey. I remember him when he was just a little fish. I mean, not really. He was always a badass. But he grew up this group to 5,000 people and has these high-level businessmen become members of his mastermind. I recognize some of my friends in this picture that he had a dinner with. He posted here. All I said is my people. Now, I did that on purpose. I just wanted to, I know it's a small thing, right? But I knew if I can connect in the comments with people here, it's kind of like I'm going in a room with like imagine you're in a room with 5,000 people at like a conference, right? And you're going up to the speaker as he's hanging out with his like cool friends, and you just go like, "What's up, cool people? Remember, I know you all," right? You're just like acknowledging that you're part of the crowd, and we have a relationship. Now, to the other 5,000 people, it seems that this guy has kind of a social status here, I guess. And so that's all happening by me saying my people. And now that Cody says, I love that. I don't know you. So now me friending him saying, "What's up, Cody? I don't think we've met. I saw you hanging out with my boy Nicholas. What's going on?" Right? Now we have a way deeper connection as opposed to hi or like, "Hey, want to buy my services?" You know what I mean? Like how most people do outreach nowadays. So you have like a deeper level of connection. But also too, when I make a post, like dude is probably going to um he's probably going to engage. So it's
Gotcha.
not letting me even like his stuff, but now it makes sense for me to like his stuff, right? He matches like he's got an invested profile. Like I look for this, right? If you invested money into taking a professional headshot, probably you value yourself, and so maybe you have a business or like a professional career where it matters what you look like. So that kind of gives me some indicators to this might be a person worthwhile following. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Totally. I like that.
So
Mm-hmm.
what are your takeaways from all this so far? What have you learned?
Definitely how to just start with my Facebook page, and just kind of change my message. I guess I had some um, inhibitions up, like kind of feeling a bit like, oh, I don't want to use my personal Facebook page for only business, and like what are all my friends and family going to think of me, kind of thing. And what I realize is, I mean, I know that it really doesn't matter what they think of me. And right now, I mean, if anybody cares truly about me, they're going to understand that this is, I've had to change my whole business. The world has changed, and this is one of the few ways I can get in front of or be, connect and network market or whatever, like, share my work and be with people. So I guess
Mm-hmm.
I'm more for it than I would have been 7 months ago. I definitely would have thought it was, I don't know, uh, unethical or maybe out of integrity or something. But I see now how, I mean, and also just a waste of time for me to go start a completely different page that's only focused on business. I don't even like being on social media anyway. So if I'm going to be on it, it's going to be for business. I'm not even there for personal anymore. Um,
And two, people want to have an inside look in your life, to feel a level of connection with you.
yeah,
And so,
yeah,
so
yeah,
they want to know that they can relate with you. And so I just don't see that happening really. Even if you did, post personal things on a business page, it would feel kind of like, but people want to follow you as a person, you know what I mean? And they
No,
don't know why, they just feel drawn to you, and then when you have a conversation, like, are you in a codependent relationship because, or you're single and perpetually, attract the same person? Because those are the things that I help people with want to talk about it. You know what I mean?
I don't want to shift that for real. I want to shift it and be like, my business is not separate from me because
Hmm.
I'm doing my life's work and I'm doing what I love. And if I'm somehow still separating those two, then I've got some separation going on. And it's not. My life's work is me, and this is what I'm here to do and give into the world. So it, it's no different. It's not just business. It is personal. It's personal, and it's how I make a living. It's my livelihood.
Totally. And here's the thing, the friends that are gonna like go with you everywhere and like gonna be in your life no matter what, they're not, they're not gonna be like, oh, she's making a post, I'm gonna like say bye, Alicia. That's not gonna happen, like there's certain people who are just gonna be with you no matter what, and then other people are just gonna go, and that's cool. So here's my challenge for anybody watching this and for you specifically. Have you talked about the purge post before, or seen it, heard about it, or have you talked about this?
Which one?
The purge post.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it, and I'm like, oh, I
Yeah,
get
so you don't need to do it the way I did, okay?
okay.
I did it, there's a soft purge post and there's a hard one. This is a really savage one. I just had enough. I was like, yeah, I just had having a savage day. And I was saying, hey, 5,000 people gonna get brought down by 1,000, in 48 hours. Powerful headline, like a hook that's like really attention grabbing. And then I tell them like I'm committed to helping 100 conscious entrepreneurs launch and scale their recession-proof online businesses. And so I'm saying I'm associating with people who are, and I'm qualifying. Um, genuinely care about people on the planet. Not afraid of profits. That was the thing. Like I was having to explain people like I just didn't want to have to do that anymore. You know what I mean? And this was powerful, like saying, hey, even if you don't feel like ready yet, and this is for you, right? So even if you don't feel ready for another relationship yet, right? Even if you're not feeling ready to let go of that partner yet, or whichever, right? Comment co-empower below, and we'll have a chat to see if my upcoming workshop is a good fit for you, or one of our programs.
I love it. Yeah, I can see how I can play with it. I can see how I can get it wrong. Like, I've been like questioning like, what is going to be that match? What is going to be the thing that I can help people with the most because I have such a range. But I can see how I can play with if I want to touch pain this week, like and make it specific. But because I guess what I've been doing, a lot of it hasn't been landing. And I don't have to get caught up in like, oh my God, I created this Facebook group. It wasn't the right thing. It was a lot of energy that I put into that 9 weeks of commitments and stuff. So this seems easier. Did you really change your friends list to 1,000?
Yeah, no, I deleted not quite 1,000 people, but at least 500, maybe 1,000. Yeah, I'm gonna have been 1,000. I think it was 500 for sure. And I'm actually, this was April 29. I'm actually doing it again. I already put the purge post out and I already deleted like 200 people. So I have some more deleting to do. And then the next post is this, and this one actually got way more engaged. Oh, I didn't even talk about the results. I got 12 grand from just making this post, just right here. This one post, $12,000. Same within 48 hours, it was $12,000. And then another new client coming in from this post right here. And this is basically after the fact, after you do the work, you say, hey, this is what I did. Thank you for everyone who's still here. Oh, I guess I did. I guess I did delete 900 plus people, you know? So I wouldn't have said that if I didn't. So I did. And then now it's funny because my friends is full again to 5,000 people, and I have to do it again about every 90 days. That's happening because why? Because I optimized my Facebook profile, show up in target Facebook groups where my ideal people are hanging out, where my message is resonating. You know, so that's what you can do. So now I know, you know, if I do this again, I just craft a post with what I'm serving with right now, I will have another bunch of people sliding into my DMs wanting to be part of it. You know, they're wanting to make sure they don't get off of my friends list because they had set an intention to work with me someday, and now they know, like, make a decision about being in Miro's life or not, you know? And sometimes you have to do that. You have to draw a line like, hey, this is not gonna, the opportunity is not forever, you know, to work with. I mean, take this opportunity to work with me. And if you want to stay on my Facebook profile, just drop an emoji or something so that we're, you know what I mean? That way the engagement continues to grow. So I know I could jam on this forever. There's a lot more to cover, but literally if all you do, specifically for you, because you have resistance to it, put a purge post out where you claim your statement, and I would invite you to test a few things. And maybe it's in this colorful block type post, you know, where it's like, hey, you know, thinking about launching a training where you go from codependent to co-empowered, you know, or thinking about launching a workshop, you know, gauging interest. Would you want in if I offered it?
Okay.
And so that's very honest, you know, but also gives people an opportunity to resonate with, you know what, that sounds like something I want. And then if it doesn't, you know, if you have zero traction on it, you can play with the words. It's like, okay, people don't want to go from codependent to co-empowered. What is it that they want? Do you want to go from, you know, having, you know, from being lonely to respecting yourself and attracting soulmates?
Totally. Okay.
You know, so play with the words, but something is going to stick and stand out more. And then what I did here, I hired a VA to go through my top performing posts and just rank them by engagement and likes and everything. So I have all of the data. I have the exact posts, and then I, you know, did categories on these, so you can see what kind of posts worked and how well they worked. You know, mission posts, super powerful. I got clients on this too. And now I can share this document with you guys where it's super easy. You don't have to do a lot of second guessing. But here's the thing, and I want you to write this down if you haven't already. In your bio, just like try it for a month.
Okay.
Go from X to Y result, X pain to Y result, where I'm suggesting disempowered, or what I know, what's the word? We just the pain point is codependent to co-empowered. You know, once you learn how to go from codependent to co-empowered, having intimacy, love. Making a statement out of that I have a good feeling about it.
Okay.
You know, big colorful block type post, and then also yeah, maybe it's this, like, you know, I'm on a mission to help, you know, what, 100 or maybe 10, well, maybe it's one person go from codependent to co-empowered in the next 4 months. Who's with me? And then with the content and cash formula tells you about the exact framework, how you engage with those 63 people so that they book calls and potentially become clients or create clients in Messenger without sales calls. Is this helpful?
Yes.
Okay, great. I know we went a little over, but yeah. So are you ready to make a specific bio statement?
Yes.
And like, yes. Okay, great. If all you do is that, I'll be happy. And then bringing that statement when you find resonance with it, and then make it into a mission post. Are you game for that too?
Yes.
Okay, great. And then making those words that are resonating a part of your banner. Are you game for that as well?
Yes.
Okay. So will you report back with updates when that's done?
Yes, I will.
So I can get a message, Miro, I got inbound leads, new clients, yay. That
Yes.
sounds fun to me. Amazing. Cool. Well, if anyone else has questions, just drop a comment, ask me anything. Happy to do a little Facebook profile, conversion profile audit and feedback. It's one of my favorite things in the world, and we will jam. Cool.